The story of Queen Esther. Once upon a time, in the mighty Persian Empire, there was a young Jewish woman named Esther. She lived with her older cousin Mordecai, who had raised her like a daughter after her parents had passed away. The story of Esther unfolds in the ancient city of Susa, where King Xerxes ruled over a vast empire stretching from India to Ethiopia. The king, Xerxes, decided to hold a grand feast to display his power and wealth. At the feast, he asked his queen Vashti to come and show off her beauty to the guests. However, Vashti refused, as she did not want to be treated as a mere object. Angered by this, King Xerxes deposed her and sought a new queen. His servants suggested a beauty contest, where the most beautiful young women in the kingdom would be brought before him, and one would become his new queen. Esther, a humble and kind-hearted young woman, was among the women chosen to appear before the king. Although she was beautiful, she was also intelligent and wise beyond her years. Mordecai, her cousin, advised her to keep her Jewish heritage a secret during the contest, as the king had no knowledge of her background. When Esther entered the king's palace, she found favor with everyone she met, including the king's chief eunuch, Hegai, who was in charge of the women. Hegai gave her the best place in the harem and helped her prepare for her meeting with the king. When Esther finally appeared before King Xerxes, he was captivated by her beauty and wisdom. He crowned her queen and held a grand feast in her honor. While Esther lived in the palace, Mordecai, who worked at the king's gate, uncovered a plot to assassinate King Xerxes. He told Esther, who warned the king, saving his life. The king had the two conspirators punished, but Mordecai's name was not rewarded at that time. Meanwhile, the king's prime minister, Haman, a man of great power, became very upset when Mordecai refused to bow to him. Haman was a proud and arrogant man, and his ego was bruised. He decided to seek revenge on Mordecai, and in his anger plotted to destroy all the Jews in the kingdom. He convinced King Xerxes to issue a decree that on a certain day all Jews would be killed. When Mordecai heard of the decree, he was devastated. He sent word to Esther, urging her to go to the king and plead for the lives of her people. However, Esther knew that approaching the king without being summoned could result in her death, as the law dictated that no one could enter the king's presence uninvited unless the king extended his golden scepter. In a moment of courage, Esther replied to Mordecai, saying, "Go, gather all the Jews, and fast for me. Do not eat or drink for 3 days and nights. I will fast as well, and then I will go to the king, even though it is against the law, and if I perish, I perish." After the 3 days of fasting, Esther put on her royal robes and stood in the inner court of the king's palace. King Xerxes, upon seeing her, extended his golden scepter, sparing her life. Esther invited the king and Haman to a banquet, and at the banquet she revealed Haman's wicked plan to destroy the Jews. King Xerxes was furious. He ordered Haman to be executed, and the decree to kill the Jews was reversed. The Jews were saved, and Mordecai was promoted to a position of great power. To celebrate their deliverance, the Jewish people established the festival of Purim, a holiday still celebrated today, to honor the courage of Queen Esther and the salvation of the Jewish people. Esther's bravery, wisdom, and faith in God saved her people, and her story remains a powerful reminder of the importance of standing up for what is right, even in the face of danger.